Alright guys, it is Anthony, GM85 here, and I got kind of a 2-in-1 video today. Today we're going to beat up on Husky just a little bit more today, and we're actually going to beat up on knipex today as well. So we're going to go through the wrench scenario, and yes, Power Stroke Jude is correct. It's not that the Husky wrenches do not work, it's just that they are machined very poorly, and they're very inconsistent, and they're turning out a shit product for whatever reason. So I got a couple sets of wrenches in front of me here, and I also have some good examples of Husky at the same time to show there is inconsistency. So we have a set of multiple different brands of 10s and 17s and a couple SAE ones because I don't have every single wrench in the world at the moment. And then I got a couple of different sets of pliers. We're going to talk about specifically where knipex is great. I love knipex, but this particular thing is not a winner for me. Used it for a little bit, and I'm not really worth the hype actually yet. So we're going to turn this around. We're going to get into the wrenches first. So let's get into it. All right, guys. So in descending order from here, right here is Snap-on, and this is Husky. Snap-on, and these are just different ones. This is different versions of SK and Husky here, and Husky here. And then these are good versions of Husky. One's a ratcheting wrench and one is a regular wrench. So we'll go through these as quick as possible. So obviously my favorite would be Snap-on. Professional in length. I would buy this first and foremost before I buy other wrenches. Maybe Right, but I'm still not super thrilled with Right. So it's the shape, the design, the head. It's all in the machining of this head right here is where Husky is failing, guys. It's not necessarily this. Another part of it is the beam on them. They're also not balanced in my opinion. So first and foremost, yes, I would still buy a Snap-on wrench. And then second best, if you're a DIY guy, Tecton. Apparently this is 9mm, but whatever, doesn't fucking matter. Same thing. Head's just a little bit bigger here, but it's a better designed wrench than the Huskies. Feels good in the hand. Still professional in length. Now, I have an SK, I just do not know where it is because, you know, conveniently 10mm missing in action. So disregard this end here. This is also a really good wrench to have. But the SK is more of a square box, but their head design is nice. It's kind of close to the Husky almost in some ways, especially on this particular size and 10. Now here's a DeWalt. DeWalt is actually surprisingly decent for wrenches. I don't hate the DeWalt products actually as far as hand tools, but I just think they're overpriced. Again, feels comfortable. I believe it's also comparable in length to the Snap-on. So they're giving you professional length at a fraction of the price. Here's a Cobalt, which is in that kit there. I was going to try to do this all in one, but I'm not doing 3 different concepts in one video, guys. Haven't used this though, but comfortable. Color indicator for metric is blue, SAE is red, standard for Cobalts. Feels good. Head's a lot more nicer than the Husky. Now let's compare this to the length-wise, because that's a thing for me. Just a hair shorter. Just a hair. But I would buy that. Tried and true, trusty Craftsman. Still better in design overall, but still. Craftsman's biggest weakness for me has always been their classic raised panel design, but I will use them, and they have held up for better part of 17 years for me. No big deal. I really wish they would have the professional line again. Maybe I should go check out their new V-Series lineup. And even Pittsburgh is better designed. The only difference is these guys are substantially shorter than your standards, your standard professional level, which you're getting from pretty much Cobalt and DeWalt, Tecton as well, guys. So these guys need to give you that little extra length. Same thing with this company Tang. Now this is a shop supply tool, incredibly thin, very crappy, but the head design's there. These are incredibly lightweight tools. They do break fairly easily. I've broken quite rid of them. And now here's the Husky. So this is a 10 millimeter. You can see the difference in the head. I mean, it just looks like crap. It's offset, it's awkward. It seems like it has more meat on it than it needs to be. And we're going across the board here. We're gonna do this twice on purpose, just to prove that it's got some issues with machine work there, guys. So yeah, I mean, it just doesn't look like a quality tool no more. So Husky's losing some ground here. It's the same pretty much for all of them. I mean, Husky used to turn out relatively high quality tools, so I'm not impressed with these no more. And the problem for me is once I noticed it, I can't unsee it, guys. So once again, here's a snap-on 17, pretty common size, nice. Same thing with the Tekton. Tekton is just a little shorter, unfortunately, but still feels good in the hand. Completely though. Another Craftsman, head's nice. Again, panel raised, not my favorite design. Also shorter than Snap-on. Here is a Cobalt. Now this looks very close to the Husky, but it's still nowhere near as offensive in design for me. Comfort is not bad for me. It has a decent little contour, but I believe it's the same length as Tekton most likely. So it is a little under. Yeah, actually it's a hair bigger, but it's much closer to a professional level. And you can tell the Craftsman is actually the shortest here. I don't have a gear wrench except for this 17 millimeter from my coworker here. Basically, oh no, this is a Pittsburgh actually. Never mind. But head's also really big on these. This is his biggest thing he doesn't like is the head. He always felt they were too big. That's why he's gonna buy the Milwaukee's. He's waiting on those to come in still. So there's that from Pittsburgh. Here's a Tang. Same thing as I said with the 10s, but still looks like a wrench and not over designed. Here's a regular Pittsburgh. Big design here. Same. And here's the Husky. So it just looks like a half blob of steel. It's big old, it looks like a circle with just a little small cut in it. It looks like crap. I don't like it. And then here's a stubby SK. Now, yes, it looks like the Husky, but it's much more pronounced as a wrench head. Same thing with this old Snap-on right here. A little bit more meaty of a wrench, but that's what they are. But I'm not gonna go through all those yet again, but here's some good Huskies though, guys. When they get it right, they get it right. Here's a little 5/16. Looks like a normal wrench to me almost. It's nowhere near as offensive. And same thing with this 7/16. It's nowhere near as offensive, but still, I could still notice it just enough to where it offends me as buying my tools on a daily basis. So that's what I got for these. Now, if you're buying wrenches professionally, of course you want to buy Snap-on, Mac, Cornwell, Brodo, Matco, whatever you want. DIY, I'd go with Tekton, and then Gear Wrench, and then Craftsman. Then you could go to Cobalt, and then even Pittsburgh or Icon. But I just can't get over the design flaws in these Husky products no more, guys. That's just me. Now, knipex. I waited a long time to get these. Played around with them for about a week or two now. So this is personally a design I've been waiting for them to come out with for a very long time. Not because of this, but this is a Tekton pair of pliers that I bought for $14. It's the only pair of pliers that knipex truly did not make. So this basically covers that bridge right here. So the problem I have with this is not the teeth. The gripping on this thing, yes, these things grip like a sumbitch. Is the mechanism. I feel like you fight it. So it's supposed to have 5 positions. It's also more, it's 5 positions in the teeth here, and it's just difficult to engage. It feels like you're getting more. It's 3 positions versus 5. It's supposed to be 5, but it feels more like 3 to me. And what it is this design right here, I think, did not transfer as well as they hoped. Because the Germans engineer things and they sometimes over-engineer. Extremely well thought out design. Yes, it does work. It's just not my favorite thing in the world at the moment. I don't think these are going to live up to the hype for me, but I will not be getting rid of these by any means. For this is perfect. This works great. I think where they went wrong was inducing this in a more coarse tooth design, and it just feels awkward to me. It doesn't feel as smooth as it is on these guys with the finer. They maybe should have made it with more fine tooth adjustment. Would have been more beneficial for this to transfer over better. It works on the alligator plier design for their cobras really well. It also works very well on their pliers wrenches. Like, they could even went like this, where it's a little bit more coarse, where this is much more fine. They could have went this route, or they could have went this route, but this route, I think, is not a winner in design. This does work. This works really well. This works really well. They grip extremely tight. They bite in. These are very aggressive teeth. They have damaged fasteners for me already. So they are a really, really good pair of pliers. I just think this is a design flaw. So what I would like to see them do is do this. Here's a little baby pair of monsters. I think they could have went with the old-fashioned slip design, like this pair of monsters, which has the distinctly same style texture as this. This is the same texture as this. So I know that there are some monster ones that look like this with that kind of grip. So I think these are some miniature knipexes in disguise, in all honesty. So I don't have the regular alligator ones, guys. So this is a pair of Tangs, similar in design like the knipex are, with their little slide group. I think that this design would have been better suited for their twin grips, because I think it's a better design for this. And I'm gonna show that real quick. Here's your gear wrench ones like this, typical ones here. Surprisingly, this is a nice design. It's more flush. It's not like these are from. This is your traditional one with the nut and stuff from Tecton. This is more traditional that you see from Crescent, Channel Lock, all that stuff. Now here's a really old pair of Craftsman. Now these are really nice ones. This is, I think, where they probably could have made a nice decision, where they could have went with their alligator design like this, or they could have went like this with 3 slots, and it had the same concept. It just, this works a lot easier for me than their push button design, guys. So that's what I got for this, guys. I got these, I think, for $40 on pre-order from JD Tico. Waited a very, very long time for them. They do work. They're very nice, but I don't think that these are going to be all the hype that they are. I feel like I personally am fighting this switch a lot more than I should. Versus, you know, here's little Fujiya ones with just a little spring in them, and they have little cutters, and they have this on them as well. I mean, if these had the teeth in them to extract screws, same concept basically, but a lot easier. 2 movements, and obviously you really don't need to have your 5 positions go like this. I mean, it's nice, but I think a little redesign would work much better. Like that slip joint on this I think you'd have a better product. It's my 2 cents. This is Anthony, GM85. I'll catch you guys later. And I got to get moving on to this next video for the Cobalt 198 piece toolkit. You guys are going to love it because it's good and bad. Because it's a half mechanics kit and it's not. So stay tuned for that, guys. Later.